Yes, y'all. Welcome in to episode 95 of the Dumb Marks podcast, the best four-man booth in the business. Back at it again. We are made whole once again. Pause. Gentlemen, how we living? We good? Little cloudy gray Saturday morning here in PA. Donald's back from the beach.
We're good.
So, Donald, I need you to explain something to me, okay? Jason got killed for the outfit, right? You were snapping pictures and showing what you should be wearing on the beach, right? But then you had a comment that you made yesterday towards the end of the caption about something being in question now because of being out in the sun and something getting darker over the course of being out in the sun. So can you explain to me the difference? Because I never would have put you in that category in the first place. Like Jay, yes, Jay's in the category. That's a light skinned brother up there. He's
light skinned.
Yeah.
Mason has more proof off that photo ID this year too.
Close everything.
That DMV photo was crazy. I was like, did they like enhance the close up of that? Because like the bottom half was, I was like, yo, I gotta lose weight before I go get my next photo. If they get making people look like that,
it's been like that the last 3 IDs.
just bump that picture up. But no, explain to me the scale that you had yourself on that you shifted over to after being at the beach for a week.
Well, normally I'm in the. I'll get myself in the middle of the light skins and the medium tones, you know. So I'll put myself in there, and I turn like 15 to 50 shades darker, like instantly. Yeah. So
he's teetering on that line. He's teetering on the light skin line.
Yeah.
He's on the fence. He can come to the party, but he's not necessarily like involved in the party. He's still sitting up against the back wall. Like he's not.
He doesn't squint when he takes selfies, but he's close.
And when I fall, I don't look like Shamar Moore posing for a model or anything like that. You know, I don't got that type.
He can go to the meeting. He just can't participate. He has to sit there and listen.
Yeah, I got to sit there and listen. Yeah, I'm not initiated.
I looked at that. And I'm like, yo, I never would have put Donald on that on the scale. But no, you had a good vacay, good time at the beach.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, good. Man, the last day was kind of testy because everybody was in each other's face for a week. So you know.
How it is.
That's how it is, but yeah.
The last day, that should have been day 1.
Not all families just get in a room and hands up, square up, Jay. Something that y'all do to keep things interesting.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But it was good. Yeah. Good get away from everything. So mine were set, bodies were set. I'm all good to go.
There you go. You got the last 6 months of the year to get at it. Or 5 months. Damn, this month's damn near over.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody else good? We got stuff for the intro today. To be honest with you, I told you pre-show, but I was talking about batteries needing recharged. I leave on Monday for vacation, but I have literally ran myself into the ground the last couple of weeks. And I woke up about 24 minutes ago. So I know my face ain't pretty to begin with, but I'm still coming out of the eyes, trying to wake up phase. But yeah, so my intro and where we're at right now, I'm all thrown off because I'm still coming out of so to speak. So what do we got? What do we want to get into to cover before we get through the rest of the show?
I have 2 quick gaming topics. One. A couple of days ago, PlayStation came out and said they're doing a program called PlayStation Stars. And it's basically, if you play more, you earn more points. And these points convert into funds for your PSN account wallet so you can buy games. So there's like different tasks that you could do whenever they put them out, like win tournaments in the Evo tournaments, you win points. be the first person to platinum like a blockbuster game in your time zone, you win points. And just like logging on to the system itself, you get points. So not sure when it's going to come out. Not sure how much, like how much you play by hours is going to give you so many points or anything. But they're finally doing something consumer friendly. They said Nintendo's been doing this for quite some time.
So, but you'll never earn enough to cover your subscription cost.
Basically, it might cover your tax for the games you buy. That's about it.
It'll be like the GameStop credit. You take in a PS2, 12 games, and I give you $23.
$9 for a game.
$9. I got a quarter.
I can see this being a certain sector of the population that already say gaming is addictive and bad for your health already, being now they just came up with a new way to get people to play longer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then they also said too that they'll be coming out with digital collections that you could also add to your like trophies and all that stuff. So to me, that is nothing but NFTs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's nothing but NFTs. And Sony said, no, it's not NFTs. It's just called digital collections. It's NFTs. I mean, don't pull the wool over our eyes. Just call it for what it is.
That's going to be their trademark phrase. So
yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
I seen a link. I'm not sure how true it is, saying you can actually have a job in 2K 2023, the basketball game.
Like work concessions.
So your character can have a job and actually earn actual money for you.
For the game.
Like actual currency.
What?
Like actual currency. I'm like, if that's true, mad people gonna quit their job. I work at Foot Action in 2K22.
Yeah, I'm the usher at the Mavericks stadium selling popcorn.
But that's what they were thinking. It was like maybe you're like in a shoe store selling NFTs.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine going to your boss and go, "Hey, listen, I got to be out of here at 4 today. I got to get to my second job." And he goes, "Where's your second job at?" Foot Action. Oh, which one you work at down the mall? Down the street?
I work from home.
No. Foot Action. 2K. I don't know where that is. NBA 2K23. I got a second job. I got to go log into it so I can collect this paycheck. That's crazy.
The downfall of society. That's first world problems for sure.
How do you get around child labor laws? Like, because we know summertime kids, like, that's all they're on.
And the second gaming thing is, it was announced last week. I didn't know if you guys covered it or not. God of War was announced.
We did not. We wanted to save the gaming stuff and a couple of things for you to be back on to voice your opinion. So
yeah,
give it to me. You excited? Is this gonna be like the overhyped Oscar film that comes out and everybody's disappointed by it because it's hyped up already to be the greatest game ever?
Oh no, it's not overhyped. Trust me, it's not. I cannot wait for it. It comes out November 9th. They actually was going to drop it on November 11th because November 11th is a special day for Xbox. That's 10 years of Skyrim, and that's when Starfield was supposed to drop. So PlayStation was going to take that shot. Like you delayed one of your best games, so we're gonna put our best game on that date, but they chose not to do it. And there's gonna be 2 collections out for it. The normal collection, collector's box set, is gonna be $200, and then they have a Yonir collection that has more stuff in it. That's gonna be $260. And they actually went on pre-sale yesterday, and they are completely 100% sold out in the U.S. and over in Europe and in Japan. And they're already hitting the secondary markets marked up at like $600 to $1,000 for those sets.
What you get in that?
What you get in? You get Mjolnir, a full-size Mjolnir itself, Thor's hammer. And Thor's a bad guy in this one, so don't think of the MCU Thor. This is a whole different 4 altogether. You get 2 action figures in it. You get a dice game. You get the a digital code of the game itself. People complaining about that. They wanted the actual physical copy of the game. You get a digital copy of the game. In the Yoner set, you get another dice game. You get the vinyl of the soundtrack, and you get a map of all 9 realms, like on this special type of cloth.
You get a vinyl of the soundtrack.
Yes, record player.
We about to have a segment called "Tell Them Why They Mad."
Huh?
We about to have a segment that's called "Tell Them Why They Mad." Tell me why you mad, because that's all I hear from you. You said they start bitching because they don't get a digital copy, or because they're getting a digital copy. You can't please game fans or wrestling fans.
They're one and the same person. Yeah, they were one and the same person. And the God of War fans were mad because the trailer that came out telling you when the game was coming out, it wasn't actual gameplay. It was just a CD trailer. They want actual gameplay to announce the trailer. So they were mad about that.
No pleasing.
Wow.
No pleasing there.
I mean, hey, listen, I never got into the God of Wars. Not only was that during the time whenever I wasn't playing video games, but I just never had the money to shell out to grab the system to go play the game. Like, would I love to play it? Absolutely. But like, it's kind of like one of them shows. Like if you're like a Breaking Bad fan or even Game of Thrones fan, like if you didn't watch it while it was on, it's 7-8 seasons in. Like I don't got the time now to go back and rewatch all that. Like I don't got the time to go back and put in from first edition up until now to get the hype and everything else. So
that'll be 7 whole games. Play before you get to this.
I trust the reviews because I don't think I've heard anybody say that there's been a trash God of War game. I mean, obviously each one has their rankings and put them in a certain order for the games themselves, but I don't think I've heard that, it's not like an Assassin's Creed where like certain games and editions just kind of completely missed the mark and fell off from the consumer standpoint.
I'll tell you, watching Dawn play God of War for years, I hated God of War. I hated it. And then what is that considered for?
2018. That's what they just call it.
Yeah, that one. That got me back into gaming on a daily basis because I would put Madden in for 2 weeks or put the wrestling in for 2 weeks, stop playing, and it'd just be a Netflix system. That God of War had me playing every day, and now I'm nonstop still gaming since then. That actually got me back into gaming, and I'm surprised.
So I remember 3 being pretty divisive, but the franchise overall is highly regarded.
Yeah.
So this is that type of game where I'm about to do it old school. When it comes out, I'm about to call off of work or take off that day.
That was going to be my next question. You remember standing in line waiting for Madden to come out at midnight at GameStop, and you grabbed a copy, go home, play all night, call off the next day. Like,
it's about to be one of them. I haven't did that in a while. I think since Marvel vs. Capcom 3 came out.
I've never done that.
we walked out of work one day, and as I'm walking by, I see a guy standing next to the trash can, opening up his Pokemon cards. Just open them up and put them in the slot right there. And Dawn was like, remember Sega games? Like as soon as you got the game, you opened it up and it was 3D instruction manual. Right out the store.
Speaking of Sega games, look at that transition without even knowing. Sega announced that the Genesis Mini 2 will launch in North America on October 27th. So it boosts more power. It has over 50 classic games previously unreleased on the Genesis Mini 1, and it includes Sega CD titles, but it doesn't say what CD titles it includes. So
I
wonder if this will be good. This is like their 4th to 5th attempt.
Yeah,
I know they got a hit. They got a hit, right? Like,
and the one had Mortal Kombat on it and was sitting on the shelves.
I was a Sega.
Yes.
Like I was Team Sega. There was Team Sega and Team Super Nintendo. I was Team Sega.
Yep.
Back in the day. So like I want it, but I'm just after everything that's been put out with the other versions, I'm like, I'm not wasting my money on it to play like Echo the Dolphin because that's the best game on it.
What they need is a Dreamcast one. They really do. The Dreamcast or Sega Saturn one.
Yes.
But those were their exclusives, like really were big time.
Ready to Rumble Boxing. I'm all here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to Rumble Boxing was the shit.
Yeah.
Ready to Rumble, the old school Daytona USA, the actual one. Yeah, that. You had a couple more nights.
See, got another fan here for it.
Yeah.
See,
was House of the Dead them too exclusively?
Yes, it was House of the Dead is Sega. Mm-hmm.
See, I have the Nintendo Switch, and you can play the Genesis games on there too. So it's just like I don't need the Mini if I can play Genesis games on my Switch.
It's just something about seeing the console and holding the 6-button controller. Like it's just something about that even though yes, you can play it on the Nintendo, but it's not complete.
Right.
I think you can buy the Sega controller though for the Switch too, so you can use the Sega controller if you wanted to. Because that's what they did when they added the NES collection. They did that. When they added the Super Nintendo, they created that that controller. They have it for the 64 games. I haven't bought that yet, and I think they may have it for Genesis.
That Sega controller for the Switch probably costs more than the Sega Mini.
Oh, it's probably at least $50 because they're all like Bluetooth controllers too. So,
and then it's Nintendo making it. So,
they love to get money.
Yes, they do.
Just like the mouse, that little plumber, he knows how to get the money.
All right.
Well, that's all I had.
TV wise, entertainment wise, two things, one TV and one a rumor to be in the MCU, but Criminal Minds is getting a 10-episode I guess order is what they're calling it. I don't know why they attached that name for it. For Paramount Plus. So they're reviving Criminal Minds. Didn't really look too much into it as far as any original cast members coming back or anything like that. But that was one show where I watched it, not faithfully, but I watched it to a point. But then there was one episode that was like way too close to home and was like real to where I just couldn't watch the show again. Like if you're going to give me that real of content to where I'm locking my doors and checking outside my windows at night before I go upstairs, like I don't need to be watching your TV show. But I know that was a huge franchise back in the day, so that's getting a reboot. And then the rumor to be, and we got to do an MCU roundtable here coming up because there's a lot of stuff popping off, especially with where we're at right now, what's upcoming the rest of the year. So we got a plan to do that. Maybe do a mid-year Marvel review recap. But it was rumored to be that, and of course it's not going to load right now, Anthony Starr is rumored to be playing Dracula in the MCU for the upcoming film for Blade.
I'm okay with that.
Thoughts, opinions? I know there's been a lot of lists and rumors coming out with potential cast members for certain individuals. I know there's a lot going on with Wolverine and Rogue, and certain other individuals. But as far as that particular role goes, an individual, okay, off the rumored announcement, is it if it's true, or did you have somebody else in mind? I'm coming at you to think off the top of your head.
No, I think that's a good. I mean, he plays one hell of a villain in The Boys right now.
Yeah.
And it seems like everybody on that show is being linked to somebody in the MCU. Because that's the hottest show right now. And people love what they're seeing and what they're doing. So they want to see them in other roles. Because there's that damn near that whole entire cast is linked to somebody in the MCU right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's a good call for me. I'll accept it.
Yeah, I think he's a good actor. Oh, okay.
I don't know much about the Dracula character to pinpoint that. So
I mean, we'll
go with expectations.
We'll see. They didn't. I mean, the original Blades touched on him in the last one briefly, but you didn't really get a whole lot of character development from him in that movie. So, yeah, I'm with you, Jay. I'm not sure how they're going to present him or what it's going to look like, and if it's going to lead to multiple movies. You know, like to me, if you're bringing on Dracula in the first one, like what are you setting up then? You know, but yeah, we'll see. So we'll definitely get that on the books and get that set up. Do a Marvel roundtable, and get that out there because we got a lot to talk about, and I got a lot to go over, and want to get your guys' opinions on it. Make sure you guys get caught up on everything before we get into it.
So Marvel's Dracula is weird because he's a villain, but there's moments where he's on some heroic stuff too.
Yeah, that's everything.
It seems like
that's why the presentation is. I think that's what's piquing my curiosity as far as seeing him in the first Blade movie, because you're not sure where they're going to go with him and how it's going to turn out. Like, or is he just going to come out and they're automatically going to oppose each other, or is it going to be something where, not that they work together, but you can see the good side and the bad? I don't know. It's going to be a lot. So there's legs to run with and get multiple movies out of it, if that's how you so choose. If you're going to do a longer storyline with them two kind of running parallel with each other until we get the final face-off, so to speak.
I was actually going to text you guys last week. I was watching the MCU with my mother and my brother, and man, the question she had, I'm like, just watch the movie. Because she's like, who's this? Who's that? Why is Thanos doing what he's doing?
Which one were you watching?
We watched Infinity Wars.
Okay.
You're like, you know what? We're just going straight to Endgame. We're not.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can't have somebody just plop down on Infinity War and ask questions. Like, that's 10 years worth of storytelling built up. That's the movie you decide to sit down and watch.
Here's 200 characters. Hope you know all of them.
It was on TV, and like it was like we were watching Infinity Wars on TV, and then Thor came on next. I'm like, I'm not doing this. It's all out of whack, out of order. I'm like, we're going straight to Endgame. Here's the continuation of this. You'll see why he died, she died, the snap, all that.
I just be like, watch Iron Man 1. And then get back to me.
I thought I gave all my DVDs, but she watched, or my Blu-rays, but she watched all of the DC and not the MCU.
You should have just pulled up Disney Plus and put her on the timeline and go watch from start.
That's what we did. We found the order. I'm like, here, this is where you start. That's where you go. And they had everything like the shortcuts in between. I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to.
Are you having her go in order of when they were released, or order of how you should watch them?
Order of how you should watch them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We got anything else?
Expert.
You are the family expert on that, man.
Anything else?
Nope. Let's get into
it. Jay, before real quick, because I'm looking at your shirt. They released some Cowabunga collection gameplay. I don't know if anybody caught it online, looking at it, seeing it. Yeah, it's definitely being purchased day one. I'm not sure. I think the pre-sale is over with. I don't know if you can still get in on it, but yeah, I'm copping it.
Yeah, I got my copy. Just they dropped a collector's edition for like $150. That's already sold out though. I don't know
what's in the collector's edition that's already not on the game.
Yeah,
a bigger box, art cover.
Now, if they had that original like '80s party wagon that came out back then,
that'd be nice.
That would be nice.
Get that.
Got a fan of your IWGP belt back there, no?
Oh, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I miss that title. I miss it a lot.
I do too.
See, it's something about the. Well, let's drop bell to bell and then we'll continue this.
I thought it was going to be that.
You WWE shill.
He's white strap. Oh, that's WWE.
Yeah. There's this. What I was gonna say is, and we got a certain setup for bell to bell this week, given where we're at as far as timing in the year and all that. So, but based off of that comment, there's just something about the white strap with the gold, like the white Intercontinental title is my favorite title. Mm-hmm. Like that, the white IWGP, like it just pops. It looks good. Like I don't know what it is. It's something about having the white strap behind it. Just
the white IC, the white NXT, all great.
So yeah, I mean, maybe if you most hardcore fans will say the Winged Eagle is their favorite, but for me, it's that white Intercontinental title. Mm-hmm. The one that Cody Rhodes bought back whenever he was on his dashing run or whatever. That just, for me, that hits the most.
There was a white Winged Eagle. Jason probably has it.
No, not yet.
They don't have the white one? Okay. Got all the other colors.
You got to go see the brother himself for that.
What do you got behind you? The blue one?
The blue one, yeah.
All right. So bell to bell this week, like we said, coming up end of July, middle of the year. So for this edition, we're going to run through kind of who we have as our match of the year, male wrestler of the year, female tag team, in no particular order. Not really. We really didn't put too much structure into this segment. Go figure with being called the dumb marks, but just kind of wanted to recap the first half of the year from each ends and see where you guys are at, what you're looking for maybe down the future.
Yes.
Yeah, it was yellow.
He had a few colors, but
yeah.
Did he have a purple? I don't know if he had a purple. He had a purple IC. I don't think he had the purple.
He had a purple Winged Eagle.
Did he have a purple Winged Eagle?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was purple IC belt that he had.
I know yellow IC, right?
Yellow, blue.
The yellow one, yeah.
He might have done white too for IC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, no. So that's where we'll kick off bell to bell this week. We'll cover the halfway mark. Get into a ratings topic, and then kind of pick up our hits and misses for the week to wrap up bell to bell. So, kick it off wherever you guys want to start at. Whatever you want to throw out there first, I'll leave it to each of you to pick a section, and then we'll go around the horn, so to speak, and give our takes for each one. So whoever wants to go first, get it kicked off, I'm cool with.
I can start with male wrestler of the year.
He goes right. Look at him picking, not saving it for the end, just getting right into it.
So, that match of the year is normally the end.
Yeah.
Hot shot. Come on, man.
AEW's finest. For male, I'll pick Jay White. Everything he's done with the Bullet Club, and the Bullet Club stuff went through many promotions, even trickled into WWE with the little Too Sweet thing, and him being the IWGP champion, beating Okada and Dominion, and then Forbidden Door with the Fatal 4-Way.
Thought for sure you were going Moxley.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we can throw out, if you got more than one, like if you got a list of who you have in contention and not necessarily who you have at number one right now, is okay too, just to get more names out there. White was on my list to be included in that group for male wrestler of the year for everything you mentioned, plus what he's done on New Japan Strong, the matches that he's had on there, and what he's done in Impact. Yeah, I mean the era of the Switchblade has been in full effect this year, and it is going to be hard pressed come the end of the year. And we do ours different. We do ours from January to December, calendar year, right? Not that bullshit PWI October through September BS that makes no sense at all.
Match of the year, not match of the time frame.
Yeah. So, no, but I got Jay White. I got Jay White up there on my list.
I'll go next. I got I got Wardlow right now for my male wrestler of the year. I've just been enjoying the storyline that he has and being built up into the. Not necessarily saying that I loved what they did to have him get the TNT title, but I think we all knew that was coming, and just going to keep building and escalating his character. His stock keeps rising every year in AEW.
You have Wardlow number. You have Wardlow at number 1 on your list right now.
Right now, yeah.
Okay.
And then a couple other guys that are on the list. Don't know if they'll if the year will keep them in contention for male wrestler of the year or not, but some that I always enjoy: Wheeler Yuta and Josh Alexander.
That's you got the you might have the most obscure one in there with Wardlow. I was not expecting to have him up there. Go ahead, Jay.
I'm going with the Tribal Chief.
The man's been off TV for 8 weeks.
But you all tuned in last week.
No, I think I mean you got to have Roman in your top 5. Where you decide to rank him personally right now is up to you.
For me, it's weird because I know you guys are taking like the in-ring as like the overall consideration, but to me, I factor in everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's kind of how I.
We each have different criteria. Yeah.
No, I mean overall presentation wise, that's why you have to put him up there. Rollins has had a phenomenal year. That you can't knock him for what he's done. Match wise, character wise, I'm not really into Rollins right now and what he's done. To me, he's just like the creepy laughter. Don't ever make that noise again. But yeah, no, Rollins for sure. In-ring wise, there's no doubt he's had a hell of a year. For me, I got Roman in there. I got Jay White in there. I have Josh Alexander in there, and I got Dax in there for what he's done singles and tag match wise. Him and Punk was amazing. The Briscoes, spoiler alert, match of the year. We're getting ready to have 2 out of 3 falls.
Yep.
The amount of belts that they've won this year. Did you see their Ring of Honor FTR release shirt that came out yesterday?
No, I didn't.
So it has the letters FTR and kind of like the ROH font that they're doing, and then behind it is the 7 stripes, and it's multiple colors, but each stripe is the color for the belt that they won in the order that they won it. So the top belt is yellow for the NXT, and then it goes down. They have the blue, the red, and so on and so forth. So all 7 titles are marked with a color on the shirt behind the lettering. It looks super dope.
It's cool.
But yeah, Dax. For me, I got Dax number 1 overall right now. If I'm ranking them today, and I put Jay White at 2.
Okay.
So we'll see how the remainder of the year goes. We got the 2 out of 3 falls coming up next week for FTR and the Briscoes too. So that may even elevate him more based off of that performance. But yeah, that's where I'm sitting at right now as of.
Cool.
I did have a quick question though, Chris, for Wardlow.
Yeah.
And this is going to counter my argument for what I just said for Dax, but does he have to win a world title in this year to be considered wrestler of the year?
No, absolutely not. No. You don't have to be the world champion to be the most entertaining person on TV.
No, you don't.
So, yeah,
like I said, it was going to counter my argument, but I wanted to ask the question because a lot of times you see you get that, the official PWI and their rankings, and you got, it's top 5 is basically made up of majority of the time heavyweight champions.
Yeah. I mean, look at Josh Alexander. Whenever he was kind of like the guy, he wasn't Impact champion. He was the X Division champion. But he was just going out there week in and week out, just doing his thing, and he was the most entertaining thing on Impact at the time.
All right, so we got male wrestler of the year out the way first. Chris, what do you want to cover?
All right, let's go into female wrestler of the year then. We'll go off the balance. Right now, for me, female wrestler of the year has actually been a little bit. It was tough to go through on the list, but right now I think I'm giving it to Mercedes Martinez. Just has worked almost every promotion, is a workhorse, and she finally got her just due with the title, being Ring of Honor Women's Champion. I think she's going to have a great match with Serena at Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor next week. Right now, I mean, we still got 5.5 months left. We'll see if anybody else steps it up, but right now she's kind of my go-to. On my list, other than her, I had Jade Cargill. She's just kind of been it right now in AEW for women's division. Might not be the best wrestler, but she's been entertaining, with the baddies.
Goes back to Jay's point with Roman. It's the overall presentation, not just in-ring work.
Yeah. And then, I brought up I haven't been a fan of Liv Morgan's this year, but, she's had a good run, being pushed into the main event and now becoming champion. So,
Jay?
I'll go with Becky Lynch. She's just the most entertaining to me.
It is wrestler of the year.
She's
not just entertainer of the year.
No, but she's carrying. She's legit carrying the women's division. She is the women's division, and has been since she came back.
Bailey could probably come back this week and take female wrestler of the year for the rest of the year.
Cut a promo and just take it.
Yeah.
You have anybody else in the running right now, Jay? That's a no.
I was thinking Bianca, but I'm not trying to be like strictly.
Oh no, you are. You're
definitely not trying to be strictly WWE, but AEW's not doing it either. I want to say Mandy Rose, but she's not up there yet. I mean,
I wouldn't argue with that, though.
I would not argue with that.
She's doing great, but I don't think she's top.
Okay.
I do have Mandy up there, just based off of everything in NXT. I know people every Tuesday. Yeah, you can definitely for sure argue Mandy. I know every Tuesday whenever I'm in NXT on the Twitter machine, go tweeting with people live, and that it's just them killing the in-ring work and saying she's never improved this and that. I think she's improved a ton in ring since she's been down in NXT.
Absolutely.
But again, it's that whole presentation, the it factor, the command she has on screen when she's out there. Like, it's the total package for her right now. She put it all together, and she's been the NXT Women's Champ for over 200 days. Nobody would have expected that whenever she won the belt the first time. Nope. Hell, I didn't think anybody was going to expect her to ever win the belt.
No.
And she's out here now, 200+ day champ. So I would put Mandy up in the discussion for sure. This was the one that I struggled with the most, and I don't know why, but nobody to me has stuck out as far as being head and shoulders above the rest. Mm-hmm. In my eyes, watching the first half of the year, to me, Dax, like I said, he stole the show from me damn near every night he's been out there. Women's wise, it's been a little bit more difficult for me to come up with somebody that's been, oh yeah, you're number one based off of XYZ.
And it's such a shame after coming off of last year when we did our, match and wrestlers of the year. And what we say last year was, all about women's wrestling.
Yeah.
And coming off of that, kind of cooled down, where I kind of feel like this year, so far at least, has been more about tag team wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw Taya in the mix. And I know she didn't have a hot start to the year, right? But what she's done recently, she's a multiple time champion across a ton of promotions. Right now, I believe she's up to 5 titles right now across the board from all the different companies. So I feel like her run in the second half of the year is going to make up for the inactivity that she had in the beginning with being released and having to wait and all that other stuff. So I got Taya up there right now.
Besides AAA, what else is she? You know?
So she's the Renes de Reyes in AAA. She is the Impact, half of the Impact Tag Team Champions.
Okay.
And then I think she has 3 other world titles across some of the bigger indies around right now. So, and she's had good matches. Like Taya could always wrestle. They just never let her wrestle in WWE. You know what I mean? Like they didn't give her that shot to go in there and actually work.
I would love to know what happened in NXT 4, other than the 2.0 transition period. You know, why even before that they just didn't do it enough.
And you would have thought she would have been a catalyst for that transition because she came in as Frankie Monet and not Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah.
She was a brand new character being presented differently and everything else. So, like, yeah, you don't really know that. And that, like, really, that's all I could think of right now, which I may be overlooking somebody. You know, you could go Camille and NWA and what she's done with that title, but not a lot of people are going to put her there because a lot of people don't catch NWA. You know what I mean? So, Ty's MLW champion, the first ever.
Right.
So yeah, other than that, yeah, I don't really have anybody.
There's people I see on the rise, but there's no. Yeah, it's hard to pick up the top.
Right. Yeah. This to me is one where we'll recap it at the end of the year, and I think we'll have a different outlook based off of the last half of the year. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping for. So
still got a few big events to come. So
for me, it'll be Jade. I mean, yeah, Jade Cargill. She's head and above shoulders everybody in AEW right now. She made the TBS title bigger than the women's world title as of now. I mean, when you say AEW women's division, who do you think of? I think of her instantly. She got the best storylines coming out of there. Her wrestling improved greatly since her first one with Shaq and all them. I mean, I put her above everybody there.
And that's kudos to her getting in there and putting in the work with Danielson every day.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can see the transition in her in-ring work once he started working with her.
Yeah.
Like if you go back and just watch all her matches, you can tell, okay, this is exactly the point where they started working together. And where she's been to where she is now, and she's still super green.
Yes, she is.
Like still. So I mean, star-wise and where she's going at, yeah.
Sometimes I forget about Thunder Rosa.
That's
coming off.
And she just lost that little competition competitors thing to a Japanese person. So what was that telling you?
And that was actually something Steve brought up a few weeks ago. I forget the match that he was talking about with that, but it's like, why do you do these eliminator style matches, number one contenders with the champions? Because if you show that they're beatable, it's not a good look.
Yeah. Now a lot of people don't realize, and I'm gonna mispronounce the name, so I'm not even gonna say it because that'll be doing a disservice to her. But who she lost to, that's to me that's for bigger plans based off of relationships that they're trying to do with Stardom and Joshi. That's bigger plans, and she is top tier over there. So it's not like she just lost to
a nobody.
Yeah. So that's top tier competition over there that you're going up against. And you got one up. Like that's playing into the bigger storyline of things. I think they did her even more of a disservice on Wednesday night with Britt Baker tossing the sandbag at her and then saying she had to carry her for 2 months.
And it was so good to see Britt back in that kind of spotlight again too. That's where she deserves to be, like in segments like that.
All right, Jay, what you got? What category?
Well, we'll go tag. We'll go tag.
All right, who you got?
Do we just know 4 in match, or is there anyone else or any others you guys had on the docket?
We'll do the 4, and then we can go around after that.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, we'll go tag.
All right, who you got?
It's gonna kill him to say it.
The Usos. I'm gonna go FTR.
I mean, I don't know how anybody else has another team right now midway through the year.
I just hate because they're not the total package to me, but their in-ring overshadows that.
You're saying that they can't talk?
To me,
not sports entertained.
To me, they're not interesting.
Did you watch the 6-minute YouTube video with them and the Briscoes yesterday that Donald sent over?
Nope, because I refuse to watch the Briscoes talk.
Oh man, you missing something good, man.
That was a.
I can't argue with you on that, man. Really.
Oh, that was good.
It was
good. Uh-huh.
I mean about Briscoes talking. Yeah,
the Briscoes talking. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I don't. Is this the only lock of the year so far from the 4 of us, right? Like nobody has anybody else different than FTR, right?
No.
Yeah.
It's changing by the end of the year. Trust me.
The Usos are going to have that 7-star match at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's no. We're not going to deep dive into this. It's
not at all.
So evident. From TV matches to big time pay-per-view matches, belts won across the board. Yeah, I mean FTR hands down.
They just have
that was the easiest one of them all.
They have
it's not even close. And
I got that. One more super quick and the Usos over top.
Yeah. All right. Well, then we'll go into match of the year, and then whatever else you kind of want to break out with. Spoiler alert. Match of the year for me, I have 3 so far that I can think of off the top of my head. And I was trying to go back through and like really, really pinpoint other matches, but these 3 just stuck out. And they're all tag team matches, which I don't know if I have ever said that when doing a top 5 ranking before, that I have 3 tag team matches as potential match of the year candidate at this point in time in the year. So I have FTR and the Briscoes. I have the Usos and the Street Profits from Money in the Bank. And then I have the match last week on Dynamite with the Young Bucks, Keith Lee, Swerve, Starks, and Hobbs.
Okay.
And I know we can go back into Hangman and Danielson and all, like, for me, those 3 are just there right now. Whether or not they'll stay in the top 5, I don't know. But as of right now, I got those 3 in some pecking order, top 5. And I couldn't think of a true one-on-one singles match that made me want to bring it up and put it above any of those 3 right now. For me.
Yeah, I have 3 matches myself. Usos, I mean not Usos, FTR and Briscoes. I have Dax versus Cash, and I have
FTR.
Arm drag, kip up. Fuck
wrestling.
Hey, technical. It was technical.
Storytelling did the same shit over and over.
It was technical in a Spot Fest company. I loved it. And then the other one, and then the other one was Ospreay and Orange Cassidy. Even though I can't stand Cassidy, I enjoyed the hell out the match.
I would throw that one in top 5 right now.
But I'll have to be FTR and the FTR and Briscoes would be number 1 match of the year so far.
Chris,
I'll put
or Jay.
I'll put FTR and Briscoes on there, and I'll put singles Roman and Riddle. I really enjoyed that match.
He just had to slide it.
You wanted a singles match?
All right, it's your top 5. I'm not going. I enjoyed it. It was definitely good. I'm not going to say that.
There's a singles match, Cody and Sammy from their ladder match. So
that was Cody's last match in the company.
Yeah, kind of be forgotten a little bit about so early in the year.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not mad at that at all. Mm-hmm. So, all right, Chris.
My list is real similar to Donald's, but to kind of match you guys, match of the year right now for me is FTR versus Briscoes from Supercard of Honor. And then the only other match that I have right now is Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy from Forbidden Door.
I didn't watch that, so that couldn't be on my list. I missed that pay-per-view.
Someone was on vacation.
Yeah. Wearing full sweatsuits at the beach. All right, couple other categories, so to speak. I had a breakout star of the year so far, and then also had moment of the year so far for me. So breakout, I have Wardlow as my breakout star of the year. So Chris, I just moved him over a category. Instead of having him as male wrestler of the year, I got him for breakout of the year.
Okay.
And then moment of the year, Cody Rhodes wrestling in Hell in a Cell with the torn pec. Like the image of him taking that jacket off and the hush and the silence that went over that crowd, and then for him to go out there damn near 40 minutes and wrestle like that and put in one of the better Hell in a Cell matches that have been had recently. I think Seth and Edge, was it Seth and Edge in Saudi Arabia? It was inside Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
In recent memory, I think that's the only one that I would put above it. And what's the common denominator in both of those? Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
So
you didn't enjoy main event in Roman?
No.
Come on.
But yeah, I got that's my moment of the year and my breakout star of the year. I don't know if you guys want to touch on any of those or if you had anything differently.
Breakout's a tough one.
Breakout.
Yeah. I see potential.
Mm-hmm.
My dud of the year so far is Almost. He needs to be fired. Dud of the year. Feud.
I'll second that.
Terrible feud of the year so far. Eddie Kingston and Jericho. That shit definitely needs to end next week.
Should have ended 3 months ago.
I was going to say Sheamus and McIntyre,
but that's a good one. I forgot all about him.
Yeah.
He already broke out.
I want to have. Melo has done tremendous things this year. Him and Grimes, you could not necessarily argue for match of the year, but they would probably be in that top 10 potentially. Melo. We say it all. At least I say it all the time. Melo has everything but height. And whether or not he'll be able to overcome that in WWE, I don't know. But everything else is there.
Yes, it is.
I'll go Wardlow and Yuta for breakout.
Yeah.
Moment, Stone Cold taking a bump at WrestleMania, and then having a whole match,
and then come back night 2.
Yeah, that's a good call, Stone Cold.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else from the mid-year wrap-up, recap, where we stand right now, July 16th, 2022?
I'm good.
All right. So next, is the PG era dead? Word comes out this week that Raw is changing its rating to TV14 MA. And then multiple reports.
TV14. MA is different.
Like
MA is different.
All right, so just TV14.
MA's ECW.
That was Attitude Era. So TV 14. But then after that was announced, then stories and reports came in that it's just being done in name value only. That the programming itself is still going to be PG-esque.
I believe it.
I mean, what
does it matter?
No. What more do you want?
No.
You want blood? Is that it?
Well, then part of what I saw too is that this is a USA mandate for Raw, so it's not even that the company is refocusing for it, it's what USA wants, and then they're saying that might not even happen this week. That it might have been an early leak, so it might be a few weeks away before it happens. So we'll see Monday. But to me, it's like if you're not doing it, if you're doing it with Raw, if you're not doing it with SmackDown, then it's not consistent with the company. You know, it's like all the brands have to be aligned in order for it to actually work.
Well, what do you want content-wise that would bump it up to 14?
Doesn't matter to me.
What would change? Nothing.
Probably just get bitch and ass and
you already get that. They just cut it off in the replays.
Yeah.
I don't want no Edge Lita stuff. That's
more MA.
Yeah.
That's more MA.
Yeah, you ain't getting that.
I don't even need to be in wrestling anymore. I'm over it.
Nothing's gonna change.
Yeah,
it's just a title change. It's just like a grocery stores moving from one brand to another brand.
Moxie just related to that comment.
I can't even be mad at that comment because
the interesting thing is that if this is USA wanting this, is that WWE moved to PG to be more, kind of get more advertisers to want to buy into their programming. So if USA is doing this, does USA have a say in their advertisers? They have advertisers set up. Is this going to make WWE lose anybody?
Listen, if they didn't lose anybody advertisers wise after the McMahon scandal of the last couple months, switching to TV 14 is not going to cause advertisers to run away. They're so locked in with advertising. It's like, not that they're bulletproof because nobody is, but to me, from an advertising standpoint, they're like the NFL. The NFL is a car crash between human beings every single week. Literally, people running over 20 miles an hour, smashing into people, injuries, down the line, CTE stuff, everything that we know that's to be in the NFL, and advertisers run to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that advertisers are running to WWE, but they're so locked in that I don't think it would matter. You would still have Snickers, Progressive, whoever you want to pick from to have their LED graphics shown up on the screen to start SmackDown or to start Raw. Like, there's always going to be a presented by with WWE.
Yeah.
So there's no point.
I mean, but no, was there anything really PG advertised? Like geared towards,
Coke was the one that they wanted, and when they eventually got that was kind of like their.
Coke wanted PG.
That was WWE wanting Coke, so they switched to PG. There was advertisers that they wanted, and they felt like they had to go to PG to get those advertisers.
Nah, I think Coke.
And Coke's only given them tribute to the troops. They've never done anything more than that.
Mm.
I don't even know if they've done it the past couple years.
Who's Mountain Dew? Is that?
That's Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Okay.
Will there be a big swing and shift in programming that you notice? Oh, this is TV 14. I don't believe so. I mean,
they still got the same writers.
They've banned all signs at WWE events now. Like, you can't even take a sign in. So it's
good.
To me, going to a WWE event now live, minus a big time pay-per-view or premium live event like WrestleMania or SummerSlam, but if you go to just your weekly Raw or weekly SmackDown, and I see it more on Raw than SmackDown for whatever that's worth, maybe because one's on Fox and one's on USA, but you're going and you're basically watching a Broadway play. you're sitting down and you're not causing any distractions. You're watching the acts as they come out and run through the show. It's no different than going and sitting in the balcony watching, the Lion King live or Phantom of the Opera. Like, you can't act as a true fan at a WWE event no more. So
good.
I think it's terrible. I think that's a terrible part of wrestling.
So kind of, I don't know if you guys read
hard money to go in and cheer and stand up and everything else. So you tell me I got to sit down or I'm gonna lose my seat.
To me, that's the most annoying part of wrestling. I have top 5 fans I hate. I hate Streamer Guy. I hate the chant starter. I hate the chant choreographer. I hate the people that wear the same shirt every week. I'm gonna find the 5th.
Izzy.
I hate Izzy.
There's Jason's Shucky Ducky of the week.
To me, this is a moot point that doesn't need to be discussed.
I want to fight the red hat guy. So I sent over a story last night. I don't know if you guys read it, but it was Corey Graves talking about, kind of his complaints of NXT and how, it seems like everybody's just the same talent in the ring for the most part, because that's how they're being trained. Well, there's a reason for that, because that's exactly what WWE wants these days. They want everybody to be cookie cutter, and we've talked about that in the past. So it's like, is that you're seeing that, Steve, you see that, you think it's a Broadway play, is that part of it? Because if they're going to be training these people, they just want to be able to take people in and out and replace them with somebody else, and it's just the same thing, no matter.
So you tell me Roxy and JC are the same?
Yeah, if you read Corey's argument, and he laid it out very well, and laid it out. No, you're missing the point, Jay. He was not saying character-wise. Character-wise, he said character-wise in NXT 2.0, everybody is different. They're being presented with
in ring. They're not the same.
He said in ring, there's no difference between. He brought up Roxanne and JC.
That's what he said. They're not the same. They are not the same in ring.
To me, I can go through an entire NXT and when it's done, I just watched the same match for 2 hours.
No.
I mean, it shows the difference where Triple H was taking independent wrestlers or wrestlers from other companies, bringing them in to create something different. Now everybody's part of the WWE system for NXT, and they're trying to train them, especially like with the NILs. They're trying to bring them in, for whatever athletic background they have, recondition them into the WWE system, and then put them on TV. If you're not bringing in that variety of talent, and it's only the one type of talent, I don't know. I agreed with his argument.
I didn't.
Well, it's because you're a flag bearer, and anytime anybody says anything negative about WWE,
you're sitting here telling me there's one specific style, and I can
WWE
in each division in each character of the women's, I can tell you, I can see a different style. Stratton doesn't fight like Nikita. Nikita doesn't fight like Roxy. Roxy doesn't fight like JC. And Casey and Caden have their own style. You saying it's all cookie cutter? That's BS. Was Eichner and Apollo similar? Yeah. But those are 2 different time periods. So you can't even make the argument with Eichner and Apollo because they were 2 different eras.
What do you mean different eras? Because Eichner was more in original NXT more than he's been 2.0 or Apollo?
No, Apollo wasn't down there when Eichner was down there.
No.
And Apollo came in with his own style.
But I mean, this was the memorandum.
That was during Triple H's era.
During Triple H's era too, where they wanted to break these independent guys and girls down and have them wrestle the WWE style. So this has been a thing in NXT since it was started. I think it stood out more as being different because those individuals came off more from an individual character standpoint than what they are right now. So, like, you can rewatch the same match, and yes, Nikita does a different move than Roxanne Perez. So you can say that because they do different moves that they're wrestling different matches. But if you look from bell to bell, it's the same style of match is what I think Graves was getting at. Not necessarily that they're all doing the same moves in each match. It's the same style of match. There's different moves thrown in, but from bell to bell, it's the same pacing.
You just said different style. You want to put two wrestlers against each other. You said it's the same style match to match to match. He's complaining. He's comparing wrestler to wrestler to wrestler.
In their style in the ring and how they wrestle, not their moveset in the ring and how they wrestle, the pacing, the spots, the timing, the heat, the comeback, the shine, all that. He's saying bell to bell, that's the same in each and every single match.
Take AJ. AJ came in and Vince complained saying that he had a bunch of people in the back that could do exactly what AJ did. But what did they do? They changed AJ's style, because I think if you go back and watch AJ in TNA or New Japan versus now, his style has slowed down. Yeah, he still does the, jumps off the top rope, does some of his like cornerstone moves, but his style has become the WWE style in the ring. And that's what they're looking for.
I think that's where the disconnect, at least for me, Jay, here and what you're saying, based off of what Graves said, to me, that's what I'm taking it as. It's all the same. And yes, the moveset are different, and yes, the individuals in the ring are doing different moves. Like, is Nikita Lyons going to do an off?
But that's what he broke down.
So, like,
well, then he's terrible at describing what he's breaking down.
Now, we also just took a brief snippet of what he said. I didn't go back and listen to the whole argument or anything, so I'm not going to go back and listen to the whole thing.
Maybe taking it out of context, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
I do believe, yes, WWE has a style and a pace.
And that's where he's saying, like, that's hindering the wrestler's growth. But if you're a company that doesn't want breakout stars and doesn't want anybody to be bigger than the Shield, to throw in the NFL analogy, then having everybody wrestling the same style keeps everybody.
I'm not saying it's not the same style, but it's like you. But then you go to AEW, you get a spot fest. Not a spot fest, but it's too fast. Like they say in WWE, stop, breathe.
Sure.
Let the people like react off what you just did, and then sometimes it's the detriment, but that nonstop wrestling is just
like he said with Tony
Dean. It is.
We talk about that with AEW all the time. That especially the programming itself, they don't let things breathe. It's like it's one after another, and you're right on that. And then some of these matches really are too much of a spot fest.
It is. It's just like
So is AEW the same style wrestling?
To me, yes.
Maybe there's a happy medium that they could both find.
Because that tag match last night on Rampage with a Private Party and I forget who they were fighting, Lucha Brothers. That basically reminded me of the match on Wednesday, minus one more team, with the Young Bucks and Swerve in Our Glory and Team Taz. Yeah, Starks and Hobbs. You just cut one team out of there, you're basically getting the same match. Spot fest after spot fest after spot fest.
That's been a complaint about the Young Bucks since they were on Independence too.
I just think, like, whenever you see Tony D'Angelo, mob boss character, like
which needs to go away. Just
that story's terrible.
Should not be. He should not look similar to Grayson Waller, Hayes. Like, not like in the ring. There should be no similarities between them.
There are no similarities between those two. You put Grayson Waller and D'Angelo? Come on.
They both
Come on. Give me a better example.
What do you mean? D'Angelo does the same moves that Waller does and has done them.
No. Come on.
Like, D'Angelo should never leave his feet to do a high flying move.
Does he?
Yeah, he's done them multiple matches.
D'Angelo and Gacy look the same to me. You swap out the collar for a fedora, they're the same person.
Put it to you this way, to kind of put a bow on this, and then we can move on. And when reading this, I completely agree with it, but the only true act that stands out in the ring as being different right now are the Creed brothers. They don't wrestle like everybody else. And that's Graves' point. Like, you need more of that on your programming to where people don't wrestle like everybody else. I shouldn't be watching 2 hours and only notice one act as far as wrestling differently than everybody else. Regardless of the combination of moves that are used, that's where I think we're getting lost in the sauce with the argument. It's not about the moveset that each individual wrestler has. It's walking away going, I've literally watched everybody wrestle the same way for 2 hours.
And wrestling's always been a variety show. And that's the way it should be. You might not like everything, but there should at least be differences of things that you're going to like and dislike.
And this is not necessarily just an NXT problem, as we've gone over here for the last 10 minutes.
So in style, are you saying high flyers versus big men versus technicians?
Like if you go back and look at, so like Nitros, for example, back in the day, you had your variety of styles throughout the course of the show. You had your cruiserweights, your high flyers. You had your technical-based wrestlers with Malenkos, and Guerrero was a combination of both and all that. Then you had your big guys, your heavyweights that only did power moves, like your Scott Nortons and that. So, like, you got, when you were done after those 2 hours, you went through and saw a bunch of different stuff, and people stood out because they weren't all wrestling the same style over the course of the show. That, to me, like I said, whether or not Graves explained it well, but I think that's where his argument was eventually going and leading to.
Did we just make the spot for Amos?
You
did.
All right. With that being said, this week, Pro Wrestling Rise, real quick, hits, misses for you guys. We don't have, if something pops up and you want to deep dive into it, we can go off into the weeds. But just real quick, hits and misses from the week that was. Donald, you go first.
The Cora J turn was extremely too early for me.
It was all misses to me, all of wrestling.
Nothing hit for you this week at all?
Not really. No.
Actually, really, for AEW this week was a better week for Dynamite. I thought Fighter Fest Night 1 was a decent night. I mean, the main event was great. Enjoyed Wardlow.
I disagree with you there, Chris. For me, you take it Wednesday night. The only things I liked Wednesday night was Moxley, Takeshita, and then the main event. Everything else, just grab it and throw it away.
Enjoyed Wardlow,
especially that first hour. I didn't like Wardlow and Orange at all.
Yeah, that was awful.
Wardlow should not be selling moves to Orange Cassidy.
Are best friends turning heel?
Maybe. I have no idea. I don't know.
When was the last time they fought? Who cares?
I don't know. You're distracting the ref. You're pulling out props. I'm like, are they healed now?
And when did they get back together? Because wasn't
I know
Forbidden Door
Vice thing? Like,
I think that was Forbidden Door. They officially got back together.
As soon as Cassidy pulled down put up the straps for Wardlow, that's when he should have powerbombed Symphony, and it should have been a squash match.
It's a good argument. I liked whenever he just ripped the pockets off and stuff.
Takeshita to me is the next guy in pro wrestling.
Yes,
definitely.
He looked good. He looked really good.
Like when you're 16 years old and you're wrestling in Budokan, like you're a wrestling prodigy, and it's crazy. Even with he's in his mid-20s.
25, 26.
Okay, that's where I thought it was, but
yeah, he looked.
But to me, like when you see him in there with top talent, he's not out of place. Which is really hard to like when you see him in there with a Moxley, he's not. Oh, he's just a guy being put in there with Moxley. No, to me, he's up there with Moxley, and he's so damn good in the ring. Swerve and Lee, I love the fact that they're champs. I don't really understand the title change to the Young Bucks so quick, to have them drop it so quickly. I know there was rumors that there was reports about a bigger storyline for the Young Bucks moving forward, and it's not going to be versus FTR for all the gold because AEW doesn't control what gets done with the
other belts,
with the AAA,
IWGP,
and the IWGP belts. So that plan looks like it was never on the books to happen.
I don't mind the swerving in league champs. It's just there's too many other people.
I mean, the rumor was
what Ricky Starks was talking about.
That should have been there.
They said that the Young Bucks weren't even supposed to get the belts in the first place. So, I mean, just being short-term transition champs, that's fine. But I like Swerve and My Glory being the tag champs. Interested in seeing where they go forward because they kind of even teased a breakup in the match too. You had Swerve holding the belt and back to Lee, and so are we going to constantly get that tease while they're champions? But
I'm ready for Starks to break out.
Yeah,
he's so damn good.
Yes, he is. I'm ready for him to break out.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like I like Hobbs too. Hobbs,
yes,
where he's at to now is crazy. His body transformation, everything. They do work well as a team together, but Ricky is a star that you cannot hold down.
Yeah. And the fans was loving him. When they were loving him. They loving him so much. Do something.
Yeah.
Oh, but I forgot. We got people like CM Punk that jumps in line and gets title shots.
He won't be TNT champ no time soon.
Unfortunately, yeah.
You got to do something. You got to listen to the fans whenever they're cheering these people. Even if you have something in place, sometimes things got to change.
Raw, the entire first hour was time filler. Call it what it is. It was completely time filler.
I didn't watch Raw this week.
They had a 5-minute match at the end of the first hour, and that was all the wrestling that went on in that hour. Everything else was promo segment and commercials. So you lost me after the first hour.
I like that. It gives me time to get ready. Pop my popcorn. Take a bath.
Take a bath.
It wasn't even good. It wasn't even good filler. Like I didn't even like the Heyman and Lesnar stuff. Like it was Paul literally, here's 15 minutes, go out here and talk. And then we'll have Lesnar destroy people.
They missed they could have had a moment with Otis.
No, but how many times you gonna throw? But how many times you gonna throw a big man out with Brock just to F5 him through a table? I seen it like 20 times.
You could have made Otis right there.
Seen it like 20 times.
We got 2 weeks till SummerSlam.
Yeah, last night for me, thank God Pat McAfee's back. What a fucking gem he is. Put the strap on Pat. It's there. The man cut one of the best promos. He's not even a full-time wrestler. And then
the commentary at the end.
And then he put over Liv Morgan better than anybody in WWE has put over Liv Morgan in the last 7 years that she's been up on the main roster.
In his commentary at the end of the Street Profits and the Usos brawling, when he was just saying, that's J-A, J-E, double F, just kept going with Jeff Jarrett. Hilarious.
You know what? I didn't even hear it because as soon as they announced Double J, I tapped out.
Oh,
you missed
it. You missed Pat.
Yeah, go back. I gotta rewatch it because everything just went. I just shut down.
You gotta rewatch it and just listen to Pat.
What he had, I saw the clip online. He had something like it, J-E-double-F, Y-double-E-S, or something like that.
Yeah, yes. Saying all kinds of stuff.
And that makes no sense. That's the opposite side of that coin. That was tremendous. You had a match that ends with conspiracies again because another shoulder was up. Heaven forbid we just make it everybody's shoulders up now. Refs are completely incompetent. So because we don't have a competent official, we're gonna bring in Jeff Jarrett to officiate this match. Only because he lives in Nashville.
That's it.
I am a victim of my own expectations here.
Who'd you think?
Not Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, you just
trot out X-Pac.
I just go back and listen to Pat because it was hilarious. Talking over everybody.
Jerry Lawler would have been the guest ref.
Yeah.
Terrible. Who do you think is going to be Maxine Dupree?
I can't wait. My mom was like, "What the hell is this?" She's like, "Why is his ass so big in them shorts? What the hell is this?" I'm like, "Just."
Hey, at least she was talking about the backside and not the front side, Jake. Like, you know what I mean?
What are you watching? I'm like,
yeah, there weren't a whole lot of. I did not watch Rampage last night. I got it recorded. I want to go back and watch Moriarty versus Gresham. Yeah. I was so hyped for that match all week, and then I couldn't do it last night. So I felt like
I felt like Rampage definitely wasn't the best show of the week, but I enjoyed the Ring of Honor title match. That was the reason why I tuned in last night.
Man, so pay-per-views look good.
Donald brought up the point of the main event. Private Party versus Lucha Bros. Yeah, I agree. That was missable. And I was actually looking forward to that match too. But Ring of Honor pay-per-view is looking really good, Donald.
Are we getting Claudio versus Gresham?
That was last night.
They announced it last night?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. His pay-per-view's looking good.
Yeah.
So you have Claudio versus Gresham.
Announced.
You got Claudio versus Gresham. Mm-hmm. You got Lethal versus Joe. Mm-hmm. You got FTR and the Briscoes, 2 out of 3 falls. You got Yuta versus Garcia in a pure titles match. You got Mercedes versus Serena Deeb.
Yeah. That's everything that's announced so far.
That's all you need.
Oh my God.
That's all you need, yeah.
That's all you need. That sounds like the good old takeover days.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If this is what we're going to get from Ring of Honor, bro, they may be my favorite promotion by the end of the year. They don't even have a TV deal.
Yep.
I have a question about the main event that was on Rampage. Okay. Is it because the match was terrible or because who was in the match?
I like the people in the match. It's just
the match did nothing for me.
Yeah, it just didn't. To me, it didn't flow.
Was it just because you didn't? Okay, just the match itself.
Yeah,
it did nothing. And then where you find Private Party? Private Party just came out of nowhere.
2 years ago, this match would have been like.
No.
Oh,
I think that's the match we saw on the first Dynamite.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. When we first went down.
Yeah.
AEW, that was the first match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that ROH pay-per-view, we'll get into that next week and break that down because they have my money. I may buy the pay-per-view twice just because of the lineup that they put out right now.
Yes.
All right. Anybody got anything else for Bell to Bell? All right, let's wrap up. Let's get into I don't even know if we want to call this a beer drink, but
I thought you were about to jump split.
This beer drink of the week.
Drink of the week.
This.
chug, 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 chug. All right, Donald, what we got for drink of the week this week? This was your selection coming back off the beach.
I just found something in the store, something different. So we got the Wild Berry Sangria Spritzer, 5% alcohol. It's gluten free.
There you go for all you ladies that say all we do is drink beer on this show. We've had some ciders. We've had, a couple other things. The Simply Lemonades. Now we got sangria for you.
Maybe some fellas out there want something else that's not a beer too.
Now, whenever I drink sangria, do I have to put the pinky up? Does this have to turn into like a bougie sip?
Can you do it in a bottle?
Gotta do the King Booker.
That's a workout, isn't
it? It smells like children's medicine.
Great.
Oh, this is communion juice. You took the wine, or took the bread and you broke it.
I almost ruined my laptop.
This is you drink ye all, do this in remembrance of me. This is
we found our clip of the week inside drink of the
week. Oh, I can't top that. We just end the segment right there. I'll bow out. I'll sit out and we can go silent. We can kick it right over to.
I've been waiting on this, and this did not disappoint.
Well, Jay's like what a body of grapes out there. Do this in remembrance of the snack gods.
Yeah. Water in the wine, and this is it. This is
this is when we get thrown off the air. It tastes like the carbonated Belches that you could buy like as a kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you don't taste any alcohol.
No, you don't.
Nothing.
This is what Jason's been waiting for.
I find it easier to drink as you sip it. Taste-wise, this just isn't for me. Flavor-wise, like I'm not a big sangria person to begin with. But brunch Sundays, Sunday fun days for all you ladies out there. This is 1,000 ladies and Jason. This is 1,000% on your list.
If it wasn't wild berry, if it was just like a regular sangria, I think I'd probably enjoy it a little bit more. The berry, I don't love the berry flavor in it. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about the berry. I wish it had a little more bite to it with it. So I'll give it 3.
I'll go 3.5.
Jay's gonna DoorDash a 6-pack.
Oh yeah. I'm going with half of Sean Spears.
Really?
I give it a 4. This is really good. High 4.
All right, there you go. That's the review for the Sangria Wild Berry Spritzer. May all you go in peace. Thanks for coming.
And also with you.
And also with you. This week in sports, Donald, I saved the MVP baseball talk because I wanted you back on the show from last week. We teased it. We put it out there. And then some shit happened during the week that pretty much eliminated the argument for me. Like it just did. I was gonna throw out there, hey, there's a debate in the AL between Ohtani and Judge. And then Shohei Ohtani goes out there, right, and does some shit that has never been seen in baseball recently here. And just I think it was based off his last start. He became the 6th player to have at least 45 strikeouts and 1 or fewer earned runs over a 4-game span since earned runs became official in 1913. Okay, the only other pitchers to do this was Jacob deGrom, Randy Johnson, Kershaw did it twice, Pedro Martinez, and Chris Sale. Right. Not only that, his last 6 starts, 6-0. He's given up 2 earned runs, 11 walks, 58 strikeouts. And oh, by the way, he's batted 8 for 22 with a home run and 6 RBIs. He's the only player to be announced to the All-Star team again as a pitcher and a position player for the 2nd year in a row. He made history last year being nominated as that. I mean, why is this guy not plastered everywhere for Major League Baseball right now?
Because we know how Major League don't promote stars.
I mean, hands down, like this MVP race is over just based off of this last 6-game span that he's done.
It was over with since last year. Because to me, he's doing all that as a pitcher and he's an everyday player. So that means out of 1 every 5 days, he's pitching and playing. And then he goes on another 4 playing every day.
Now,
and so I can see somebody like Darren Judge or something go out on the mound and throw it. Ohtani's going to be my MVP all the time.
Where's he playing, or is he just DHing?
He's DHing, but he's also playing right field a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
You doing that? You got it.
Yes.
But here's the old grumpy white guys that vote on the Major League Baseball MVPs. You play on a losing team.
Exactly.
No.
So we'll give it to Aaron Judge because the Yankees
are the best team in baseball.
Now the most amazing team ever. Yada yada yada. Like what? I think there's only been one. Well, Ohtani won it last year, and they weren't above 500, right?
I remember the 1 year A-Rod won it, and the Rangers were terrible.
And I think Ryan Sandberg from the Cubs way back in the day was the other player that won it on a losing team. Like, they don't give MVPs to players that are on losing teams.
Yeah.
And the Angels organization needs blown up because you're wasting 2 generational talents, Trout and Ohtani.
Mm-hmm.
You're wasting them. Literally. I've never seen this in baseball. He is the only reason why I tune in for baseball. When they're on ESPN, whether on a Sunday night game, I will throw it on. I'm not watching all 9 innings, but I'm going to tune in and watch. Just because of what he does on the field. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. MVP. He is. And it shouldn't even be close. And it should not be close.
There was more of an argument last week to be made, but after this week, it's like, there's not even an argument no more.
It shouldn't be close. Because the man's actually playing 2 positions. He's playing every day.
And at a high level. It's not just it's not just I'm out there doing, average stuff.
He's out there like back in the Little League and Pony League days, like your best player is the pitcher and doing all the hitting and everything. Like he's out there.
So yeah.
He is my MVP.
All right. There was locally
and my Cy Young. He is.
What's going on, Kenny?
What up? So speaking, we brought up NIL deals. There was an article this week. The PIAA here in Pennsylvania are considering a policy to allow high school athletes to receive endorsements. In favor, against? Against?
For high school, I'm against.
Against.
So you're against somebody going out there and being able to make money?
They're not 18.
Money. You work eating pork on shift. Fans out there.
So a 15-year-old YouTube creator can be making X amount of dollars, but
but it's not
15-year-old star athlete can't make money.
It's not of high school sports.
No. I'm against it for college too, but
college, I'm not. College be pulling in the billions and billions of dollars, making money off of those kids. High school is different for me.
I'm not against them making money. It's just how it's being. It should be like not an equal thing, but everybody should be getting paid, and not just your star athletes.
I just know here in Western PA back in the day, and I don't follow along with it as closely as years ago, but just football wise, back in the day, if this would have been around and announced when you had Terrell Pryor, you had Stevie B, you had LeVar Arrington, Brandon Short, like you want to talk about the deals that those kids would have inked in high school, would have been insane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I started working at 12 just because I had to. So to be able to go out there and get money because I'm a highly talented individual that's one of the best in my field for my age and my demographic, and you mean to tell me I can't make money?
But you don't have that option not to make money. You can go get a job.
But again,
in college, you can't.
But again, it's no different than, I mean, high school football, let's be real, is some of these top tier, high end high school football programs are being run just like colleges.
Hmm.
You're practicing X number of hours a week. You have your study, like you're lifting, you're doing it all. Like
you get off
so
season.
The time for a job,
pick up a job. You get off season.
They're not. They're doing 7-on-7s and camps and everything else. Like the time investment is just for the scale. It's equal to what the time investment is in college.
I see where you're coming from. And the reason I say no is I think on like this side of the thing, kids with all that kind of money at a high school age, I'm thinking of safety issues. Like the area we live around and all that stuff.
I think I don't want to sound like the old man get off my grass, but the eras and the times have changed. Like I said, if you got all these influencers and creators that are out there that are making millions of dollars at 10, 12 years old because of their name, image, and likeness and what they're able to do, I don't see the difference between a high school basketball player or a high school baseball player, or like Logan Cooley, and I pronounced his name wrong last week, so I apologize, but just got drafted number 3 overall to the NHL. Like, what's wrong with him getting a Cochrane dealership?
Bust on some TikTok
in high school to film a commercial. No different if he had a YouTube channel and was making money off of it. Like I get it. There are arguments to be made both sides of the coin, but I mean, at the end of the day, right? If somebody's going to pay you to use your name, image, and likeness, then hey, go at it. Have at it. Get your check. Get your bag. I'm not going to knock you for it.
That kind of muddies up high school football.
Well, there's the flip side. If you're going to do this, then how are you going to do it differently than the NCAA, to where you have regulations and you know what I mean? Because we already know there's high school recruiting that goes on now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Why do you have to do the individual? Why can't you do just do the team sponsorship? So like we know like there's all these teams out there that maybe struggle for financial to keep the teams afloat and the school afloat. Why can't you just sponsor the team or the school this way that money goes to the uniforms, the travel,
the whole,
all that? Yeah. I think if we're going to go down that route, I'd rather see it support the entire school rather than just support an individual.
but then the school's making money off the player.
But if I'm not saying you sponsor the player, you sponsor the school or the team.
But the school then is making money off of the player.
So that's basically like the old way of college.
Yeah, it's no different than the university making money. I'm selling number 8 jerseys, Pitt jerseys, right? But they don't have Pickett on the back. But everybody knows Kenny Pickett is number 8. So the university is making all that money off of merchandise because of Kenny Pickett's name, image, and likeness, even though they don't have his name on the jersey. It's the same argument that led to all this in the beginning with the O'Bannon twins way back in the day from UCLA. Said, yo, you're making all this money off me, and I can't see any of it. So if you're paying the schools, and there are a lot of schools that I know that could use those funds to help, especially in this area, and I'm sure it's like this in every area around the country. But then again, you're paying the school for the player who's not seeing the money. And don't get me wrong, it's no different than like if you win a WPIAL and you win a state title, the school gets money for that. The players don't see that. Go look at the Wolverina and how in the Woodland Hills campus itself and how it's been renovated over the years. That's all from back in the day, football money and what they were able to do on the field.
So what's to stop that person from moving on to another
school? Yeah.
So I said,
look, I made the money by my mama's house. I'm going to such and such to play with them.
Because you're a winner.
Look, I get the same pitfalls. Like, I get it.
Because not every kid's going to be able to do that, but I'm sure there definitely would be some that have the means to do it.
Right. It's just like, I understand that it's not a simple yes, no, right?
Yeah.
Because of all the numerous factors that go into it. But it's just like, if you can get paid for all these other things as a young student or young influencer or young athlete, who's to say that you shouldn't be paid?
We need to do this topic again with our friend Damien on here, since he's a high school head coach for basketball. Yeah,
the high school coach, like that's
all people getting money, but that was college.
I mean, you're seeing transfer portal-esque stuff now in high school.
Oh, it's been going on for years.
My grandma stay out there. We'll put my name on the address.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's just, I think it's a situation where times have changed, and it's like, how do you evolve with the changing times to make it work? And this is at least the PIAA, and the PIAA has done a lot of shit that makes no sense, and they get crucified on a regular basis for what they've done. But at least they're looking at it and trying to get ahead of it, unlike the NCAA and unlike the NCAA, who just sat on it for years and years and years, and now you have this just
a mess,
shit pile of a mess because you sat on it, and now you're trying to put stuff in place retroactive instead of being proactive with it. So I don't think we'll get a ruling or a decision anytime soon, but at least they're having the conversation about it and trying to figure out all these dynamics to how you would actually get it in place to where it would be, I don't want to say fair, but on the up and up, so to speak.
Is this something that the PIAA, whatever their ruling is, stands, or is this something that the state then has to approve after?
We don't know.
So as of right now, it just shows PIAA.
Okay.
I don't know how or where the dynamic from the state would play in.
Because knowing our state wouldn't pass any changes.
And if they do pass changes, you got to kick up some of that cash to us.
They love sitting in the ancient time, so I don't know if I'd see that, but maybe the PIAA board's different. They could be a little more progressive on something like that.
I mean, the fact that they're having the conversation to me goes, okay, we're open to discussing.
Mm-hmm. Like Steve said, at least they're trying to get ahead of it before like a player actually does do this, and then shit hits the fan.
Yeah, the toothpaste is out of the tube, and there's no way to put it back in.
Mm-hmm.
And that, so yeah, but it's just, I mean, it's very interesting times that we're in as far as student athlete compensation and knowledge trickle down into the high school ranks. So we'll see from there. Anything else for sports that you guys want to get into? I know we're coming up on training camps, getting ready to start NFL preseason. We'll get into all that in a couple weeks.
Malkin resigned with the Pens.
The band's back together. Chris, what do you think?
I don't even want to get into this right now.
We got time.
Donald, what'd you say? We're getting the band back together just to
lose the first round again.
Round of the playoffs again. So,
hey, I'm not mad.
Better.
I had this argument with my cousin on Thursday. Diehard Penguins fan, diehard hockey fan, watches games that Pittsburgh's not playing in. He hates the Malkin signing. Thought they made it too long, too much money.
Yeah.
For me, as we sit today, I'm not mad about where the roster is at and what it looks like. I think you have a 2-year window potentially to contend and maybe get to another cup if everything goes right and everybody stays healthy. And then after that, it's going to be, I don't want to say a nosedive off the cliff, but you're going to have to draft well and develop young in order to keep the ball rolling, because you're coming up on the end of the era of Sid, Gino, and Letang.
What did we say? The new owners are coming in. They're going to want a winning team. They're not coming in. They didn't invest in this team.
They are a winning team.
Not whenever you lose first round of the playoffs multiple years in a row. And it's just you kind of know the outcome.
This year has the asterisk next to it compared to other years.
Because of injuries? I think previous years have had similar asterisks next to them.
If Sid doesn't get elbowed in game 5, they win that series 4-1. They were up 2-0. Everything's buzzing.
I mean, we could say the same about different years of Sid's concussions too.
But those years they weren't losing first round.
Yeah, I mean, this is 4 years in a row they're out first round. So
it's a trend.
Yeah,
you can't say I want a winning team when there's only one winner.
Yep.
So that's every sport.
I think in a way, a lot of these guys do have that team where they like each other. They want certain players to stay because they feel that they fit well with the team. But at some point, it's that whole thing of, all right, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But if you keep losing the first round of the playoffs, is it not broke? And I think changes need to be made this year. I felt this was the right time to make those changes, and it seems like we're just going into the next few years of the same mentality right now.
Insanity.
See if it plays out.
Yeah. Now we'll see if maybe they bring in some younger stars. Maybe they do bring in different talent. Maybe that will alter, the big payoff guys. Maybe that will change the lines up a little bit more and help things out. Maybe if they have a few extra young talent that actually has talent, if one of these guys get injured and they can step up, we'll see. But, sometimes it looks good on paper, but whenever it plays out on the ice, it's a different story.
All right. Anything else in sports we want to get into?
Pirates up their ticket prices.
Yeah, they raised their ticket, all tickets by $1 so they could put it in a new scoreboard.
Yep.
Fuck you.
The Sport Authority approved it. So. I'm not buying a ticket anyway, so I don't really care.
That O'Neill's cruise hype.
They're 27th in Major League Baseball attendance. They're averaging about 15,000 people in the stadium per game.
If we're talking about the dollar hike in the Pirates, are we going to talk about the Steelers?
What?
The name change.
The name change.
Oh, right.
Hey, Mama named it Heinz. I'm gonna call it Heinz. Okay. Just like Star Lake Amphitheater was always Star Lake Amphitheater, and now it's Star Lake Amphitheater again. Yeah. All right.
Heinz was playing to begin with, but you caught on.
I'm just saying, if I was Hunts, I would have fucked shit up and been like, "All right, Heinz backing out. It's our time to shine." They already got the ketchup bottles up there for us.
Yep.
Oh, could you imagine the ride in the streets?
Oh man,
Heinz would have been named. Heinz catch. No, that would have caused. Listen,
and everybody would have still showed up come game time.
Oh, they will. They're still going to show up no matter what.
Change isn't going to change anything.
I mean, I get why people are upset about it, but from a business standpoint, you're getting
that's the best deal.
You're getting 3 times your money.
Mm-hmm.
You had 2 years of knowing that Heinz was backing out of the deal, so you know.
Well, not even that Heinz was backing out; they just weren't going to pony up the money to re-up.
Yeah,
They extended.
They did that extension. Yeah, and they said even when they did the extension, we're not going to renew. So
yeah, I just think it more has to do with who they chose and who they picked. There were other people in the running, but they went with what they went with because it was the most money. So they took the bag and ran with it. So
my favorite is still the Wikipedia entry. Change names to Acrisure Stadium, pronounced Heinz.
They said that Permanis was in the bid too, but they only could afford lifetime sandwiches for them and not the money.
I wouldn't have called it Permanis.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is, and Heinz doesn't have the history of like Lambeau or Soldier Field to where that they're not. Yeah. Those names are not going to change. I mean, there's only a handful of stadiums that aren't sponsored by corporations nowadays, anyway.
Very true.
All sports. So,
I did hear Heinz could possibly retain the naming rights for the ketchup bottles, so they might
for the red zone.
Yeah, for the red zone.
Sponsorship.
Yeah, sponsors. Yeah.
Okay. So I did hear that. So I don't know if that's going to go anywhere, but
it is what it is. That's how it is now.
What was Mellon?
Civic Arena.
Yeah.
And that was still the Civic Arena. So yeah, I mean, he said at the end of the day, they're still going to have 65,000 plus in there every Sunday.
How many old timers still sit there and say, "I'm going to go see a game down Three Rivers"?
A lot.
I still. What's in a name?
Very true. All right. Anything else for sports? All right, let's kick it over to One Gotta Go. All right, let's get into the results from last week's hoagie debate that Chris put up there for One Gotta Go. And out of the results, which sub or hoagie, depending on what region you live in, had to go?
I'm gonna ask you guys a question first. Top 2, Italian and sausage. Which one was the one that people voted the most on?
Sausage.
To go?
Yeah.
Wait, why is Italian even in the list to go?
The top 2 voted were Italian and sausage, but the majority was sausage.
The Italian hoagie was voted as the second most sandwich that had to go off that list.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
A trash audience. I don't care.
I knew cheesesteak was one.
Terrible take. With your Chris, I don't like deli meats. Get out of here.
And I watched that going back, and I do have to say I misspoke. I don't like.
Now we got a clarification.
I don't like the deli meats that are on the Italian sandwich. Like, I'm not a pepperoni and salami person.
You like the other one? I don't like the other one. The corned beef and all that shit.
Yeah,
that's corned beef. That's not.
That's not Italian.
Yeah, salami, ham, and capicola.
That's on the list. That can go. Capicola? That's on there.
Yeah,
some depending. Yeah, I like capicola, but I don't like regular ham. So
I didn't know I was eating capicola. Okay.
Depends where you're eating the sandwich from.
Yeah, triangle with salami and ham. You're not getting cap on.
No, okay.
You're not getting it from. Well, I think Subway may have changed, but back in the day, you weren't getting it from Subway either.
Subway has the matzo meats. All right, what do we got this week, Donald?
So I was in 90s feel kind of a way. So taking it to teen TV couples. Now there is criteria that I brought up with this. All these shows are pre 1993, and all the couples were each other's first loves, and they made it to the end of the show and married each other. So they had ups and downs throughout the show.
All right, who wants to go first?
I can go first. This list is real easy for me. The only show that I didn't really watch that often was Beverly Hills 90210, and the two people I absolutely hated on the show when I watched it were David and Donna. So David and Donna, they gotta go.
But their ups and downs were so great.
Couldn't stand either character.
You didn't put Steve and Myra on here, but that wasn't his first love. Laura was. Okay.
Who was that?
Urkel and Myra from Family Matters.
Oh, yeah.
That was love off the list.
That was up there. That was up there, but
it wasn't. You just said who?
But do you put Steve and Laura, or do you put Steve and Myra?
It would have been Steve and Myra.
Steve you put Stefan and Laura.
But did you watch it all the way through the end though?
They weren't endgame.
Yeah, they weren't.
I mean, it was Urkel and Laura.
I never watched a single episode of Beverly Hills 90210. David and Donna got to go. And I hated Saved by the Bell, but David and Donna got to go.
How do you hate Saved by the Bell?
I like Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly was it for me back in the day. So I mean, I could easily boot that off just because I didn't like Zach for ending up with Kelly, but I think Corey and Topanga are safe. Steve and DJ was just they were boring. It was just like every other uppity middle class white family couple.
Have you watched Full House? Did you get the full story?
Yeah, it just
didn't come at all.
David and Donna were not the couple that I wanted to see get together at the end of 90210.
No, they weren't.
That was the safe writing.
Yes.
Could have went in multiple other directions. They were my least favorite couple on the show. But looking at each couple as a couple, I guess I'm gonna stick with my original gut. I'm getting Zach and Kelly off there because like I said, I was Kelly Kapowski all day long. So
for me, Corey and Topanga are definitely staying. Zach and Kelly, I like Saved by the Bell, but I didn't like them together all like that. Slater and Kelly seem better for me than Zach and Kelly. David and Donna, I like their ups and downs from their beginning to their end. A lot of drama between them from their breakups and getting back together. Steve and DJ, they had the ups and downs. They actually had to overcome a dead spouse to be together. So I'm booting off Zach and Kelly because their ups and downs were just like, I don't want to be with you. I like another guy. The other ones had serious ups and downs.
We are literally four dudes breaking down 90s TV couples. This is going to be we're going to get.
We did soap operas and it was good.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, we did soaps and it was good.
Chris, did you go?
Yeah.
Steve and DJ. Yeah.
So there's the tiebreaker there. We were 2-2.
Boring, so. Kenny. They were so boring.
Kenny said, so white. So white.
Does anybody vote off Corey and Topanga?
No, they're like the ultimate.
We'll see. There'll be somebody. There will be somebody.
It'll be somebody. It's one Donald's friends.
Yeah, of course, it'll be my friends. Of course, it's going to be my friends. I'll run some part of the poll, so it's going to be my friends. Why don't you put a poll up and see if your friends do it?
Are there any other? I'm trying to. Now that you brought this up, like I'm trying to think back to shows, to couples wise, that were like in that era that you would have wanted to see get together or stay together.
There were other ones that were really good, but they weren't endgame. They didn't get married. So like Kevin and Winnie from Wonder Years, I had them up there first, but they weren't endgame. They were a good couple.
Donald's favorite show.
One of the favorites. Then also 90210, I like Kelly and Brandon together, but they were never endgame. Then the one couple from Step by Step, I never watched it, but I did research it. But the dude got fired.
I was gonna say who was the couple on Step by Step, because I didn't think there was one like long term.
No. Was it the older sister?
I'm not sure. I never watched Step by Step, but it said that one of the actors got fired from.
That was Cody. Cody was fired, but
yes.
he didn't really have.
Okay.
He couldn't date his cousin, so that's just.
That doesn't count. That took that show in a whole different direction. I mean, we could do this and like flip it to like, I mean, you could do like the most toxic couples that definitely should not have been together. That would have turned into like a Channel 6 news alert.
Zach and Kelly's still on that list.
I mean, you'd have Brenda and Dylan, like that's automatic.
Oh man, yeah.
There's cops being called to that house for sure. Yeah,
you had that. That was like the early '90s one. There's one in like the late '90s through like the mid 2000s that had couples and all that stuff, but I don't know how many people watch them. Those shows, like our age.
See, I know like you don't have it doesn't fit into your criteria for the list, but like you have Martin and Gina.
Yeah, they weren't teen.
But they weren't teen. Like it didn't fit into that category. I'm just trying to think of some other couples.
Were they just in a relationship, or were they already married at the beginning of that show?
They were in a regular beginning of the show, the relationship.
Relationship, and got married. You had
Thing would have been a good one. Will and
Lisa.
Long. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have voted them off the same reason I voted Zach off, because Nia Long was up there on my list too. Still up there on my list.
Wasn't he with Tyra? In
the beginning, the beginning.
I'll put that one over him and Nia, or him and Nia Long. Yeah,
I think him and Lisa was a better story than him and Tyra's character.
You had,
she also was with Tisha Campbell also too.
Yeah, Tisha Campbell. Yeah,
in the beginning.
You had Overton and what's her face from Living Single?
Oh yeah. St. Clair. Was that St. Clair? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you props on that one, Don. That's a good list for debate there.
Got Steve's thinking on that one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what the fans brought up. I'm glad you listed the criteria off beforehand. Made the list that much more respectable by putting it together. So, all right. Anything else to wrap up? One got to go.
Next week is me.
Yeah, next week too.
Expect some half-ass.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
It's coming one day.
He got on the Michelangelo show. Just list off all 4 turtles.
Steve just wrote it for you, man. There you go.
That would get people hot, though.
That would.
4 turtles.
Oh man, hot. That's a debate.
That's definitely Jay's list next week. Go. Final thoughts.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into episode 95. Follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter @DumbMarksPod. Follow us on our YouTube and Twitch channels. Follow and subscribe so you get notifications when we go live each week. You can purchase our merchandise at ProWrestlingTees.com/DumbMarksPod. For all those links to follow us and purchase the merch and more, go to DumbMarksPod.com.
All right, what do you guys got for final thoughts?
If I was an action figure, my accessory would be a hat.
I got glasses and a hat.
Now Hasbro, you can make your own action figure. They have that thing. But I took my hat off to scratch my head the other day, and my niece just looked at me and her jaw dropped, and she was like, "Uncle Jason's bald?" I was like, "How well do they know me? How well does my family know me?"
Oh, Mr. Potato Head looking.
Action figure coming though.
You go. Be on the lookout.
Is that the one that I saw? Like you can do like the Power Ranger make yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of merchandise, MLW announced the partnership with Hot Topic, so you'll be able to go in the Hot Topic stores and pick up MLW shirts.
If you can bypass the cashiers, you can't make it to the front door. Like, can we help you? Shit, let me get something with it down.
Oh, they got me. They got me down there. Whenever I bought this shirt, man, as soon as I stepped through the door,
T-shirts are buy one get one.
As soon as I stepped through the door, I just want one shirt. You could buy a second one for 30% off. I just want one shirt.
You just lost the sale. Shit.
The Home Run Derby was announced this week. They put out the brackets. I believe is that this weekend or next weekend?
Yes, Monday.
This weekend, Monday. So the 1-8 matchup is Kyle Schwarber at 1 against the 8 seed Albert Pujols. You have Pete Alonso, the 2 seed, against Ronald Acuna Jr. 3 is Corey Seager against Julio Rodriguez. And then the 4-5 matchup is Juan Soto versus Jose Ramirez. I like the fact that they put Pujols in here on his way out.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So hopefully he can make a run at this thing. Coming in as the 8 seed probably has the lowest odds. If you can bet it on FanDuel for shits and giggles, may throw down, a little bit of money on that just to see. But I look at this list and it's like, besides Pujols,
one show, hey.
I recognize 3 names on here.
He's pitching.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize 3 names on here, and I think 2 of them is just because I watched the Home Run Derby in previous years, and they were in the Home Run Derby previous years.
Exactly.
So Acuna, Schwarber,
Alonso, Acuna, and
Alonso won it before.
Yeah, he won it either last year or the year before.
I know Soto too. They have that name.
Soto, Acuna, Pujols, Corey. I know him. That's about it.
Can we get a Legends Home Run Derby 1 year?
Now that's an idea.
Yeah,
1 year.
Idea.
The pitch to MLB.
If they're all batting coaches now.
So you bring back Bonds, you bring back Griffey, you bring Bonds, Griffey, McGuire,
Samuel Sosa, wherever he's at.
No. We'll see. We'll leave Sosa off. He's lighter than Jason. We're not bringing Sosa back.
Samuel Sosa.
Are any of them actually going to be able to hit a home run? Being off the juice for that long?
Oh, Griffey can still get out there.
You never lose it. You never lose it.
Yeah. So
it's not a bad idea. That would be a good one.
No, it's not a bad idea at all. They used to have a celebrity one during like the workout.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they used to have that. I remember the one
I went to.
Yeah.
The field
and then you brought up the celebrity. There you go. You brought up the celebrity. Like, I remember last year after the Derby, I just kept the celebrity softball game on, how they replay it. Half the celebrities I don't even recognize no more. That's how I know I'm getting old. Like, I don't even know who these people are.
Yeah.
TikTok stars. Like
they had the basketball one, the basketball celebrity game during All-Star. I didn't know, so Miles Garrett.
Well, there's so many stars out there. It's just like that's even the argument on Dancing with the Stars whenever they come out with that list. It's like people nobody gives a shit about.
You don't give a shit about.
Put Kenny Omega out there on Dancing with the Stars.
Hey, I watched The Miz on there.
All right. Anybody got anything else? Anybody got anything else? Final thoughts? As always, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate, love the support. Check out the clips as we put them out throughout the week. Like, share, comment. Let us know what we got right, what we got wrong. And again, we're always open to constructive criticism. So if you absolutely hate the show, let us know what we can do to make it better. Or we'll just tell you to bleep off and keep it moving. With that being said, quote of the week to get you off into the right mindset to attack Monday. Time does not change people. Time reveals the real face of people. Time does not change people. Time reveals the real face of people. And with that, again, thanks for tuning in. I'm a Mark, you're a Mark, Telemark. And until next time, y'all can catch us around the way.